considered temporary structures, so you shouldn't have to get a permit to do them, for the most part. You can always take them down and move them, and this is the case with this nursery here. This nursery was in Isla for 12 years, and the rent went up, and it really wasn't that good of a site, so we decided to move it up here. We've modified it a little bit, but it didn't take more than a day to take it down and move it. The structure actually right here, we just took apart in all 4 walls and the roof and the floor, and we just stuck it in the truck and drove it up and put it back together all in one big piece. That needs painting today. If we find out people are standing around doing nothing, there's some paint in the back there. What color are we going to paint it?
It's called French praline.
French praline sandstone, and then the trim will be painted something else.
That would be forest green. It's not really a forest green, it's more a sage green.
So that's the first thing you build when you build a nursery, is you build a shed, and the shed becomes your sort of center where to keep the tools and supplies and everything else. When we built the Santa Cruz Island, the very first thing we did was ship out a half container, and that's the base. And then you need to grade the ground. In this case, this was a big steep hill, and when we excavated the pond after the fire, when all the soil eroded down into our pond, we made this a little bit more level. We couldn't make it as level as we'd like, it would have been too steep on the corner. But we made it, it doesn't have to be totally level. In fact, on Santa Barbara Island, you see Lori's old nurseries, they're like way unlevel, but you don't want it so steep that you actually sort of going downhill. It's harder to put the benches in and everything. So then you grade it, and then the next thing you do is you put in the irrigation. In this case, the irrigation is all in here. There. So these are for the benches. 2-foot wide bench here. 6-foot wide bench here, with a trail between those. Another 6-foot wide bench here, with a trail down the middle. And then a 3-foot wide bench here with a trail down. Okay. Open the door here. Sides will go on it eventually. Sides. And then, so once you put the irrigation in, then you put this ground cover fabric down. You want to make sure you get all the rocks and everything out of it so that people aren't tripping when you're walking, because when you're carrying plants you usually can't see the ground because the flat of plants is right in front of you. So if you've got rocks in here, you'll be tripping on them for the next 15 years, right? So you want to grade all the rocks out, lay the fabric down, and then you lay the roof, you build the roof onto the ground, and then you spray paint where all the roof things are. Then you slide the roof away, and then you drill auger holes down, and then you pick the thing up, put all the posts up, cross brace it, put the sides on, put the benches on, irrigation in, bang, you got yourself a nursery. This nursery, if you were to build it from scratch, is probably $50,000 nursery, and the fact that we recycle it, we probably build it for 20. Something like that. And a nursery this size, 30 by 40.
So in this case we've had to get creative, and basically it's sort of a, we were discussing it last night, trying to decide what you call it, because in in the greenhouse class you go through all these, you've got tip layering and you've got cuttings and you've got all these different methods of propagation, and really what we're choosing here is a combo method. It's not really tip layering, it's not hydrosprigging, it's sort of salvage. So
it's a cross.
It's a cross.
Some kind of sprigging, I guess you'd call it. But we're just going to take. Next time we're at a nursery, we'll show you. We're just going to take the the sprigs and just put them in the ground, and then let them root at the nodes. Right, which is what we're going to do at Goleta Beach. And by the way, sorry we had to change the Goleta Beach thing. That wasn't our doing. The guy that's the project soup on that has to be there when we do the project. He told us he could be there, then he changed his mind, and so that's why we changed the lab from Goleta Beach. It wasn't our changing, it was his changing. And we're building this nursery anyway, so this greenhouse, and I wanted to get you guys up here anyway. So the plan for this is first we have to stabilize this hillside, and we have some erosion control fabric. So we're all going to get rakes, and we're just going to rake all the loose soil off down to, there's a line between these things I'll draw in the sand right here in the ground. All the soil is going to go over into this, because this is going to become a drain through here. We're going to rake all the stuff and get as flat as we can, and then we're going to roll a fabric. It'll come up to about here, nail it in, staple it in, and then we're going to roll another piece of fabric over the top and staple it in. That way we stabilize this hillside, and then we can plant natives in it. So once we get that done, then we're going to move all this free mulch inside this rectangle, and this will be our base. We can get about 6 inches throughout this whole thing, or 8 inches of this. This will become the base for our not our hydro-sprigging, but our, I don't know what we call that, tip layer sprigging. We invented more heavy-duty structural stuff that you would use for a spillway or a really steep hill or something like that is made with nylon netting. And the problem with nylon netting is it doesn't biodegrade. And then you get into less structural stuff. We're not really going to hold this thing together with this fabric. We're just going to hold the soil there temporarily till the plants come in. So we don't need the nylon stuff. Nylon stuff also is not real good for snakes and birds and stuff. They get caught in it. So this stuff here is the 125BN. It's completely biodegradable. It's got a 3-year life span. It has cotton fabric, and it has 3 layers of coconut core. It's a pretty good product for a 3-year, no more than 2-to-1 slope. It can't be any steeper than 2-to-1, 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 slope. But they carry about 30 different flavors depending upon what your design specs are. So what this is, we're just going to stick this on. Okay, now you got to come up to the 25.
Yeah, all the way to the 25.
So you either have to cut ventilation. And then there's greenhouses, which is totally controlled. Well, it's still have vents and stuff, but you're saying I want to totally control the environment. You know, the shade house is just a modification of shade.
We're using the auger board to keep the whole house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was real impressed with the quality last weekend. You guys did a ton of work. Looks really good over there.
I missed last weekend.
It transformed the whole county, man. Yeah. Dude, all kinds of stuff.